Alright, it's going to winter for Herman the Hive. It's the beginning of October, things are getting cold, the girls are kicking the boys out of the hive. We're going to make a quilt box and get this going to winterize things. So this is my quilt box. I made it out of an old super. Use number 4 hardware wire on the bottom there. That allows bees to come up through it still. Use number 10 hardware wire to create some ventilation holes. I'll put links for the products I used in the video description. This is candy board made from sugar. We have approximately 10 pounds worth of candy board that we'll put on the hardware wire when we're ready to go. Other things that we're going to need is a burlap sack or some sort of breathable bag, and then wood shavings. So the purpose of a quilt box is to provide both insulation and moisture wicking for the winter. So we're going to take it, we're going to put the candy board on top of the hardware wire so the bees can come up through and eat on that come springtime when it starts to warm back up. We then take the pine shavings, which I just bought from Petco, and put them into our burlap bag, fill that up. So the way this works is during the winter, bees are warm and it's cold outside, and it can cause condensation if you're in dry climates like myself, and the condensation can then drip down on the bees, and wet bees are dead bees. So the quilt box works by taking that moisture as it condenses on the top cover, and then when it drips back down it will drip onto the wood shavings, which absorb the moisture. And then the ventilation holes will help dry out the wood shavings, keeping your bees dry and warm through the winter. So here you can see the underside, just seeing that the candy board is there pressed up against the hardware wire. So the bees will be able to get up into that and feed on it through the winter. So now we're just going to go put it on the hive. So I went out to go put this on the hive, and I've had for the past 4 weeks I've been doing mite treatments, and I've already taken the mite treatment out here, but the bees had put a large amount of propolis gluing down the mite treatment that I had sitting on here. So I'm just scraping that propolis off right now. Propolis is the essentially bee glue. They use propolis to seal edges and glue anything down that they don't like in the hive. Luckily for me, that propolis will come in handy later. So as I put this old super on, I realized here on this corner that I'm looking at that the box doesn't sit perfect, since this is an old super that I repurposed. It's got a little bit of a gap there. So as I'm looking at that, I'm noticing bees starting to come out of it, and I thought to myself, how can I seal this up? And I just figured I'd use the propolis that just came out of the hive. So I'm gonna start sticking that in there. This is what the bees would do with it anyways. They would seal that gap up. But this will just save them the time and energy to make that. So this is propolis, you can see it there. It's just sticky, rubbery, gluey stuff, and we just kind of wedge it into the crack and away we go. So there you can see it stuck onto the corner. That'll keep the bees in there nice and tight and warm. We're gonna put our top cover back on and close the hive up for winter. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.